What is going on, everybody? Primetime 29, we've got the one and only TD Styles up against EK Dirty Dave. Absolutely killing out of fights ahead of us, top to bottom. I'm your host, Cyrus the Looney, of course. I'm going to be joined in the booth today by the one and only Tabarek, making his primetime debut in the comms booth. How you doing there, my man? Sorry, your mic didn't come through for some reason. It's coming through now, though, brother. You know, I'm doing very well, man. I'm doing very well. What up, y'all? Brother, we've got some crazy fights ahead of us, right? Obviously, we're going to be starting off the night with Hanzo, Broomstick. These guys have been setting up, both killers, both veterans of the scene. Obviously, looking to get a win in the lightweight division. Going to have Rara, AJS, Walker on the early prelims as well, and then you know, as you can see, brother, look at that card. Are there any main fights that stand out to you? Obviously, we've got the main event. You've got ones like Jimmy Slick, ThatGuyJME, Deema, Khamzat. Any ones that stand out to you there, brother?
As in for competition?
Yeah, no, as in fight you're looking forward to, innit? Right.
I'm more interested in Styles and Dirty Dave, to be honest with you.
The main event, of course, brother, of course. Those two guys are so high level. PlayStation side as well. I mean, we've seen these guys as well, right, Tarek, competing on the Xbox side of things for a long time now. We know how well-versed they are. We know how well-rounded in all facets of the game. Part of two of the best camps on the scene. Obviously now they've gone across to the PlayStation side and they've been making waves. As you see, TD Styles just absolutely run through it in the Grand Prix, got that championship belt, has made it very, very difficult for anybody to try and take that off him thus far. With all of that being said though, brother, we're not going to waste too much time here. We've got some crazy fights ahead of us. We're going to get straight into them, of course. Up first, as I mentioned, we're going to be having Hanzo up against Broomstick, so without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. Like I said, I think these guys are in lightweight. I didn't get to see their picks, but oh, it's a Poirier mirror match.
Quick input.
So
Hanzo is a new member of TSK.
He's in. Oh, really? Okay. So yeah, you boys have got a camp going. Oh, you got a few good members there, man. We'll see if Hanzo's going to be able to do the damn thing and get a W for the camp up against the dangerous Broomstick. I personally was training with Broomstick not too long back, and the guy's made some major adjustments in his game. Has been looking really, really good. So interesting to see how he throws down in this one. They're starting out nice and quickly though, trying to kind of almost mirror each other. Just lots of little 1-2s to the face, working the leg, working the body. Nice work.
Clean combo coming from Bucko. I mean, not Bucko. Broomstick, my fault.
It's all right. Yeah, no, nice work. He's pushing forward, getting him up against the cage line, those power shots, especially when your back's up against the cage. You can already see Hanzo's head health starting to be a little bit suspect. He's got to be careful, keep those hands up. Obviously, he knows, being Poirier, that man hits like a Mack truck, and trying to land some power shots of his own already.
He really does. Oh! Drops him.
Oh my god, this is real quick. This might actually be it. One shot away, Jesus. Nice work, staying active. Good denial as well. Your man seems to be well versed on the ground over there, brother. Nice work taking the back. Broomstick's going to have some dangerous submissions. Of course, the submissions now for things like the RNC and so on, they are perfectly legal. Only sub that's banned currently is the standing ghillie. Great job of stopping the back take right there. Doing a great job all around defensively so far, Hanzo is. He does look really well versed on the ground there, brother. You know, good job to get back to his feet, but staying very defensively cognizant on the ground.
Hanzo right now pushing forward. Missed a couple of blows.
Well, nice work, man. Hanzo is landing some nice clean shots on the inside. Those hooks are really going to start to do massive damage over the course of the fight if he continues to walk into them. Obviously, Broomstick needs to be a little bit careful of it. Go back to that jab as we saw a moment ago. He was doing good work at maintaining range, but got to be careful taking pictures after your combinations. You see Hanzo loading up on those combinations and really, really getting active anytime Broomstick enters that pocket. Nice slip straight. Oh, and he sits him down. Oh, Jesus. This is bad news for Broomstick.
Over right here.
Oh, my God. That was a quick one, man. Non-stop action. Poirier mirror match. These guys basically stood on a napkin and threw bombs from start to finish. Hanzo's going to be feeling good after that one. Tough battle against the Broomstick there. And, you know, is that the first W for the TSK boys? Obviously, it's a newly formed camp.
I'm pretty sure it is, to be honest with you.
Nice, nice. Well, first camp.
It's definitely got to be the first one.
Well, first W for the camp. That's huge for that man right there. Huge for the camp as a whole, starting out the season very, very well. You see right there, you got the 3 knockdowns over the course of that round there. Great work all round. We're not going to waste any time with it. Taking us straight into the next early prelims of the evening. AJS Rara Rasputin up against AJS Walker. So 2 campmates matching up against each other this evening. We've seen a lot of Rara over the years there, Tabrik, and obviously Walker's been trying to make some waves of his own. These AJS boys, they have a nice unorthodox striking style, have a good, well-rounded grappling. I'm interested to see how these two match up, because you know yourself, Tabrik, when you're familiar with somebody, when you know how they play, the types of strikes, the grappling that they're going to go for, then you know, it can really, really change the entire course of the fight. You have to adjust your core game plan, right? Because your opponent knows everything you're going to try and do. Okay, so
they're really good players, honestly. Rara Rasputin, I've had the ability to face him myself a couple times, and he's actually put me to work for the KO against him. So
yeah,
he's actually made some pretty good improvements. I'm glad the guy's actually, you know, coming into the scene more than usual and just playing in and, you know, trying to go for finishes right away.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. It's Rara's one of those guys that has phenomenal grappling. You know, he's done a really good job at really rounding out that area of his game, and I know that the AJS boys have been working on his outside striking as well, so that's one of his weaknesses that he's really been working on, and has had a, you know, a really good job of being successful with it so far. We already seen him land a couple of good shots. No luck on the takedown. Sterling, Walker all over it. Like I said, maybe a little bit wary of Rara's takedown threat. He knows that it's going to be there, and probably his biggest route to success. Nice work, Steve.
Walker pushing forward on Rara.
Doing a good job, bro. You see, staying active with it, but he's got to be careful entering that pocket. Nice spin!
Oh.
Getting loose early, trying to bring it to Rara, making sure that he knows he's here to fight and win, not trying to take it light on his teammate. Excellent takedown, though. No, 3 minutes 33 on the clock. That's a lot of time to work, Tabrik.
Definitely is.
Nice.
I would love to see the game of Rara to improve. I'm not trying to be, you know, one of those guys to, you know, call him out on it, but he's still slightly lax on it. To be fair.
We see this submission attempt doesn't look like it's going to be anywhere near. Of course, these ones really, really hard to get, especially with your stamina being approximately equal to your opponent's. Definitely need a bit of an advantage in those positions in order to be able to sink those types of things in. Rara's not going to be dissuaded by it, though. Now landing nice ground and pound from the full guard. Going to continue to keep that pressure up and let those seconds of these rounds start to tick away. Nice work, staying very, very
passes guard.
And it's always good, you know, that full guard, Doc told me a little while ago, it doesn't actually count towards your top control time, so staying active in them, posturing up, making sure that you slice across to that half guard, really, really does play a massive factor. You see Rara's right there, Tarek, going for the ground and pound, not getting overzealous with it, posturing down himself to make sure that that cardio doesn't get wasted.
I have to keep worry about that stamina right now. I was moving around way too much on the ground.
Nice work. Going for the submission now against Rara. And this time he's got a bit of an advantage. This is a bit of a worse one. Those dominant positions really do help sink the submission in a lot more cleanly. Obviously, the bar you see starts to go up a lot quicker. Right now, Walker doing a great job of tracking him, but Rara does look like he's just doing just enough to stay out of it, and looks like the escape is going to be imminent.
Good defense from Rara right there. Working the body once more. Ushers up, gets a couple blows in.
Nice work. That's a good round, man. It's a good round for both guys. They both had early success. You see that big spin at the very beginning of the round from AJS Walker. Did a nice job of landing that. But as you see from the statistics, the significant strikes actually leaning towards Rara. Probably from a lot of those ground and pound shots that he was trying to get off. But as we know, the stuns, the overall damage that's put out normally is the biggest determining factor in the eyes of the judges. So he's going to have to definitely watch himself going into the second round to ensure that he doesn't replicate that rock, or, you know, doesn't walk straight onto one of those spinning elbows like he did in that first.
All right, he really does have to be worried about that spinning elbow. If he doesn't, it will catch him clean. Flash KO. Shots to the body and head right now.
Doing a good job slicing across into that top mount. Lovely work. Now posturing up. Rara's got that ground and pound as well, man. Like I said, he's intelligent with it. Probably going to posture down in a second. No, he doesn't need to. Obviously, once again, though, this is one of those things where, you know, both Cruz is a great grappler, but obviously on the bottom, Sterling is no slouch, man. He's got that rubber guard. He's got a lot of submissions, you know, to be threatening with. So as long as he's able to mind his P's and Q's, he may not be in the worst position. That top mount, though, is obviously devastating, and this submission isn't great either there, brother.
It is definitely not. It could put in some damage to the head in the long run when you stand back up.
Great work so
that
far.
Offense from Rara.
Yeah, I mean, considering this is the first submission he's really, you know, really trying to go for. He obviously made some adjustments in the first one. Looks like his opponent's going to escape right here, but that's got to be promising going into, you know, the later parts of this fight, because he was pretty close in that one. You know, considering that those are fairly hard submissions to get.
It really is.
Nice elbows. Rara really
nice
doing a good job of yeah, he's doing a really good job of maintaining position, right? And it's all about position over submission, but he is doing a good job of mixing in the ground and pound to go with it. So, for yourself, Tabrick, I know you're a man that likes to throw those hands, right? You're not opposed to a little bit of grappling, of course, but what would you like? What would you like to see from Walker here? Because he's having a lot of trouble on the ground. Maybe just that.
Since he's having trouble on the ground, I would like to see him to. I was just about to say stand up. But as of right now, he's going to just have to defend those takedowns and just put the pressure right on him so he won't get caught with that takedown.
For sure.
That's for me, my perspective. I would generally do. And if they're going for another takedown, I'll just
kind of got to
away, pop the uppercut, or just...
Oh! I mean, I'm sorry, Rara, but he went to sleep. Walker just sent his teammate to hell with a spinning back kick to the face. I mean, no shame in it. These guys are obviously very familiar with each other, and we're really, really going to war from the very, very get-go. But what an unorthodox kick to throw out there. Not telegraphed at all. Not really set up behind any punches. Just thrown out there as Rara was maybe trying to use a little bit of footwork, and he ate it clean to the jaw.
I believe he leaned right into it, to be fair. If there's a replay here, you could see he leaned directly into it.
I'm thinking...
Well, I call that a kick, to be honest.
From what I think he was trying to lunge, to be honest with you. I think that may be what it is, but yeah, nah, he's okay, guys. He's okay, don't you worry. We're sending him straight to the hospital, but Rara's a tough man. He is he is a durable fighter, and he's going to be recovering very, very quickly. Man's like Wolverine, instantly healing up, goes away into the wilderness and comes back looking a little bit more dangerous each and every time. So tough loss for him right there, but like I said, up against a teammate that's very, very familiar with your skill sets. It's always going to be a tough task to go up against. So great fight from these guys, an entertaining bout to call. You know, oh wow. Sorry, I switched across, but throughout that entire fight, Walker landed 8 significant strikes, and that's all that was needed. He only landed 8 significant strikes over the course of that fight. That's pretty quick.
That's actually pretty freaking good, to be honest.
Yeah.
In the end for a KO?
He got a KO in the second round after landing 8 significant strikes. My man, like, found the home for the precision shot, found the button on his opponent's chin, and was able to turn those lights off. Great work by him. He's going to be feeling really happy with himself, and a nice win for AJS. I mean, obviously, they're both AJS, so there was definitely a dub coming, but these guys both put a good representation of their skills on. With all of that being said, brother, we are now moving on to the prelims. That, of course, was the featured fight of the early prelims. The next one's up is a little bit different to what the graphics saying on your screen there. We're going to be having BSD Jendo stepping up against Bucko. These guys are actually stepping in on short notice, so we rate this very, very highly. Always liking to see the eagerness of you know, these opponents to really, really start to go to war. They look like they're using Alexander Volkanovski up against Brian Ortega. Which is an interesting matchup, right? You've got the little bit of a range on the side of Ortega, and then on the flip side with Volkanovski, he's got a lot of power, man. He's got a lot of power, and he's really, really durable.
Definitely. That is going to be a hard matchup from both sides. They both have good health everywhere.
Now, obviously, these two guys coming from very well-respected camps that have been on the scene for a good little while now. The Body Snatchers Degrees doing great work. As their name suggests, they really like to work the body, can mix it all together. And obviously, on the other side, LW, a little bit of a newer camp, but also been putting in great work, signing a lot of people, and starting to rack up some nice W's within a number of promotions. He's starting out quickly as Bucko as well, going for those leg kicks, really, really starting to try and pop him in the face and you know, lead the dance, but as we said, Jendo ripping to the body given any opportunity. Nice knee to the body.
Against Bucko, you're going to have to just pressure him back.
And you see that right now, right?
Because that's what I do. Because whenever I have the ability to face him, he just doesn't get off of you.
He doesn't. And he does a thing that you mentioned a little bit earlier on pre-stream where if you do start to pressure him, he starts to try and time those unorthodox spinning elbows on the entry anytime you're trying to throw those jabs, and it can really, really send you to hell. Nice uppercut from Bucko. That was beautifully timed. Knee to the face.
Catch.
Work. Yep. Slit elbow. Bucko's looking clean here, but so is Jendo starting to land beautiful combinations. You see the head health's very, very low. The head kick almost sits him down, but Bucko able to survive that one. Plenty of time on the clock still, and these guys are already throwing leather, brother. Oh! BSD with the big rock. Oh, nice step. That's absolutely terrible from Volkanovski. He did a great job of blocking his body, though. That could have been terrible if that landed. Oh, brother. Those missing head kicks are...
body again.
They're really problematic for Jendo. I'd love to see him just to keep with that boxing, because it looks like his opponent Bucko is all over those side steps.
He definitely is. boxing is working very well for him, but at the same time, he could mix in some kicks here and there.
Yep.
Does stop him from, with his momentum, from moving forward.
Spin elbow, not working for the man. He's trying to get it. Oh, that one did though. You had mentioned this earlier. At a certain point, he may turn into a bit of a Beyblade and get in a lot of success with it right there. I mean, Jendo's sticking in there, brother. He's having a lot of trouble. Oh, look at the stamina. We spoke about how durable Volkanovski is, but oh, that's what he needs right there. I mean, the fact that he's very, very hurt, his stamina is incredibly low, but he continues to land these big, powerful shots is very, very impressive.
Whenever he lands these big, powerful shots on the, and he gets buckle rocked, he's just not worried about the stamina disadvantage whatsoever.
No, for sure, for sure. He's just making sure that he gets the damage off, given the opportunity. Nice trip, like you said, at the very, very end of that round, getting the takedown. It's not really going to, you know, wasn't massive, but definitely scores in the eyes of the judges. Probably not going to change their decision on the damage that was outputted, though. Bucko was able to land the massive amount of damage on the chin of Volkanovski, and, you know, we're perfectly timing some nice Beyblade counters, doing really, really good with the all-round. Bucko is looking very strong in this fight, but definitely do not count out Jendo quite yet. The man's shown clearly that he is here to the very, very end, and he's going to be throwing bombs any opportunity he gets. Second round starting out of the first fight of the
prelims. Go down on his guard.
I mean, well, I would normally say a takedown might be the you know, the way in this point, even against somebody like Ortega, but this stamina deficit is just going to put you in a world of pain if you try that. It means he's just going to have to look for this knockout, and right now he's not going to get the opportunity. That's probably it.
Might be it.
Great knockout by that man right there. He did a he had you know, a ferocious pace from the very beginning of that round, Tabrik. You said it yourself there, man. That pressure is a bit crazy and kind of almost Bang Bang-esque, right? He just stayed on him the entire fight.
Definitely is. I've seen him fight too. Bang Bang, and absolute monster when it comes to pressure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Nice work.
I'd like to see those two go at it, to be honest.
I mean,
I'm gonna put that out.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can get Bang Bang across onto the Xbox side, right? Because these guys fighting with those sort of styles would make a very, very interesting match. Bucko is one of those pressure phenomenons that does a great job of mixing up those shots and really keeps you guessing. It can be really, really suffocating when you're getting pressured like that, and you know, with your block continuously being so low, you're forced into making risky moves, right? And those risky moves can, you know, those head movements, those side steps, those are the ones that change the course of the fight incredibly quickly. And we saw it with the spin elbows. You know, as soon as he was able to land one or two of those rocks, the stamina was massively changed. And obviously, Jendo tried everything he could to get it back, but was just a little bit unable to. You see how close the fight was, the statistic-wise. You know, just a very, very fun round overall. Both guys put an excellent fight on. It was a pleasure to call it, my man. I'm sure we're going to see both guys do great stuff in the very, very near future. With all of that being said, though, brother, we are moving on to the next one. We have in HD Grant up against Random, the one, I believe it is. So we're just going to get these guys set up with each other very, very briefly. But this is a PlayStation bout, I do believe, and they've been doing great work on the scene all round. We've seen, you know, the Random one and HD Grant have really, really nice all-round striking. Obviously, had some adversity, as all of us have at this point, Tabrik, right? It's hard to come into a league full of as many killers as this and to walk away with an O, but, you know, these guys are trying here. They're trying. Okay, so...
They definitely are, and they're putting a show.
Yes, sir. They are in light heavyweight in this one, Tabrik, which means that there's going to be a lot of power in their hands. John Jones up against Chuck Liddell, and I have to say, I rate that pick of Chuck Liddell quite highly.
It is a very good pick. I'm respecting that too, that pick.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Like I said, you've got that sprawl and brawl sort of style, able to use his wrestling, you know, kind of repertoire to be able to defend it, kind of anti-grapple, if you will, land those big, powerful shots. And really, it's a pretty good matchup against somebody like John Jones, who has a little bit of an issue when you get on the inside. Obviously, John Jones needs to maintain that range, utilize takedowns and clinches when he gets the opportunity. And that can be a little bit difficult when you've got the Iceman in your face, landing some elbows. You see
Definitely. He's gonna have to watch out for those knees and elbows, because Jones' power with that, I say it's like 100% power.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the most utilized techniques of a Jon Jones player. We've all come up against it in OWC. I don't know if that's going to be the approach of his opponent here this evening, but it's definitely one of those things that when you start losing with Jon Jones, you know it's in the back of your pocket. You can go 12 to 6, 6 to 12 elbows into the spin and start to send your opponent into all sorts of trouble.
Definitely.
Great work starting up quickly. We see Jon Jones trying to go for those spins. Does a good job of catching the kick, but unable to get the takedown. And once again, HD Grant just picking his shots, landing the power of Iceman square on the chin of Jon Jones, and already it's starting to have some major effects. You can see the health already deteriorating.
Jon Jones pushing forward with a jab straight.
Spin once again. There's the spins. Yeah, there they are, brother. Like you say, you get a bit of frustration. Your opponent's getting some success. Big kick! Oh my god.
I went through the block.
Yeah, I think he leaned into it, if memory. I think he might have leaned a little bit. I've done it myself a few times. Just a really unfortunate timing on that lean. But once again, Random One now trying to utilize that advantage to maximum effect, pressuring forward the best he can. But once again, HD Grant just deciding to plant his feet and land some big bombs with the Iceman.
Nice teeps coming in from the Iceman. Is that what you said? That's what his name?
Say again, sorry, bro.
My bad. I thought you said that was the guy's name. That was the fire. I forget their nicknames here and there.
Yeah, no, that's Chuck Liddell's nickname. Yeah, nice work on the kick. Now, obviously, HD Grant doesn't really have those flash kicks using somebody like...
Oh, flying knee.
Those unorthodox flying knees, the elbows, they cause so many problems, bro. You just never expect them. They do seriously come out of nowhere and, you know, like you say, such high damage because they always catch you mid-strike. Grant is looking very clean tonight.
Chuck Liddell. Oh, that's...
I have to say, I mean, he's eaten a couple of flying knees, but he is looking incredibly clean tonight, is HD Grant, doing a great job of staying composed even when he's getting rocked. He's not getting, flustered by it and continues... Look at that lovely pivot. Here's the first takedown attempt of the night.
Just putting the pressure on him right now.
That was needed, but not a lot of time to work, and it used up the, a lot of the remaining stamina of Jon Jones. So, although this would have been good a little bit earlier on in the fight, at this late stage, that may, start actually to play some advantages for your opponent going into that second round, should we make it to it. 10 seconds left in this one. Both guys still trying to pressure each other, land some bombs. Looks like Chuck Liddell, the Iceman, getting slightly the better of the overall statistics, health-wise, stamina-wise thus far. But obviously, Jon Jones with those unorthodox flying knees, those spin, look at that right there. It's all going to add up if he continues to do so. There's only so much that Chuck Liddell can take on that chin.
That really is. That chin is literally sandpaper to Jon Jones.
Yeah, he's
that kick one more time, it's probably game over, to be
Yes,
honest.
sir. Yes, sir. I mean, the thing is, though, those spin kicks, they do track you sometimes when you slip your head off the center line if you do it, a little too early or a little too late. So he's got to be careful because that's the beautiful thing about the spin kicks into the flying knees is that they can set each other up. You try to slip the flying knee and he'll spin into your head, but not right now with Iceman landing once again. Jesus. Chuck Liddell has got power in those hands and he's making sure to land it as often and early. Oh, this might be it. Jon Jones in a world of pain.
Oh!
Was that... Did he just put him out? Jesus!
Overhand! He put him out with an overhand! Jesus Christ.
Lovely work by HD Grant.
Win from Grant.
Yeah, looking very, very clean. So that was a beautiful performance, man. Quite honestly, you know, those unorthodox knees, those spins, like I mentioned to you earlier, at least personally, right, they caused me some problems because I'm expecting, you know, A, B, or C out of my opponent, and then all of a sudden a bunch of flying knees or a bunch of spins come, and they can get you a little frustrated, and that actually sets you up to not making the right choices. But HD Grant and that composure tonight, looking fantastic, able to stay committed to his game plan and get the W very, very nicely. And there it is, HD Grant. Great work, brother. Great work. Well, my man, these fights are going very, very quickly. Up next, we're going to be having... Sorry, brother?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, up next, we're going to be having the one and only LW Zombie up against the man, the myth, the legend in KM Valentine. I'm very familiar with both of these guys. Obviously, LW Zombs has been doing a great job throughout the scene, putting together some really, really troublesome wrestling performances against some of his opponents, making it really, really dirty. And obviously, we know KM Valentine with the guys out of Kingsman has some clean striking, all-rounded, has some great sparring partners. So I think this is going to be an incredible matchup there, man.
Really is. Valentine, he is a killer when it comes to striking with him. If you stay in the pocket for way too long, he will catch you.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing, I mean, when Valentine first got into the game, he was a technical Beyblade, is the best way I can describe it, right? He used the spins and all of that sort of stuff, and he did it really well. He'd switch stance and disguise it. He's gone away from that now, training with the likes of I'm Cold Blooded, the mighty Tadpole we're going to see later on, and many other killers within Kingsman. Obviously, utilizing really, really effective striking, and has been able to go away from that. But once again, as we saw from Bucko, that's in your back pocket, right? When your opponent starts to get something going, you can always go to that and start to get those block breaking combinations off to really start to try and get back into the fight.
All right. As for you calling him a Beyblade, I would still say he still is. He hasn't changed from his ways.
I don't know, bro. I don't know when the last time you fought the man is, but he's lost his Beyblade ways. As you see, nice little technical striking on the inside, switch of stance. Both guys using the Robert Whittaker mirror match, which, you know, Robert Whittaker is such a fantastic pick in the middleweight division.
He is a fantastic pick. But as we spoke about that Beyblade, I fought him a few days ago, and he was a Beyblade. He wasn't spammy with it, but he disguised it really well, as you said, and he caught me and put me to rest.
Yeah, no, those spins, they can be problematic, brother.
Great groundwork coming from Valentine on LFC Zombie.
Nice work. Now, this is where, obviously, LFC Zombs does his best work, is on the ground, but now he finds himself on the bottom end, and, you know, even though he's getting some good denials off, probably not where he wants to be. Valentine, obviously, being well-versed, showing those additional ripples to his game. You know, doing a great job of so far maintaining some of this top position until right then Zombie's getting the transition back to full guard, utilizing the denial to get the reversal, and now we find Valentine on his back eating some ground and pound, trying to be defensive, but those shots landing nicely through the block so far.
Nice denial coming from Zombie. Another reversal.
Nice work. Very, very technically trying to plod through. We find Valentine back on the top once again. This is a little bit of a different approach from the man. It's nice to see, though, that, like I said, it's always beautiful to see advancements in people's game. We know Valentine to be more traditionally a striker, going up against a grappler this evening predominantly, and you know, trying to take him into his own wheelhouse and say, look, you may be the grappler, but I'm better. I'm better everywhere. That seems to be what it is. Nice work. Trying to stay very active, both guys.
Stop Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
It's brawl.
Nice work. This is brutal ground and pound.
A couple shots.
That was great work to get the, you know, the last minute stop, but it was so late at the end of the round, not going to be able to do anything with it. Nice closeout for Valentine, getting that damage off. We're going to see the statistics very, very briefly. You see the advantages in terms of the significant strikes and the top control. Nice, clean, maybe 10-9 round or 10-8 round in the first one. Well, not 10-8 maybe, but 10-9 round. All still to play for. Like I said, when Zombie is able to get on top, when he's able to utilize his top control pressure, it's a different beast. You know, it's one thing being on bottom, it's one thing being on top, and people have, you know, either great top games, great bottom games, and some guys can do it all, but...
Definitely. There is definitely some people out there that have good bottom control that you won't be able to pass their guard at all.
Personally, I am somebody that likes to play that sort of game, at least in real life. Playing the, you know, full guard, you have a lot of submissions that you're able to set up. And obviously the elbows on the inside, as we see back in fights like, you know, Michael Bisping up against George St. Pierre back a little while ago now, they can really have massive impacts very, very quickly because, you know, it's basically inverted mount and you're elbowing a man in the face.
Right. Zombie putting on pressure on Valentine right now.
Oh, lovely work. Yeah, this is great work from Valentine, now pressuring forward. That's an interesting, maybe half guard that he's got right there. Not seen that before. Yeah, no, this is great work from Valentine. Such an advancement in his game. He decides to separate and maybe now looking to utilize where he is strongest in the striking. So much success on the grappling. He's going to be feeling very, very confident at this point in the fight. Midway of the second round, 2:30 on the clock. All Valentine so far, to be honest with you. The Kingsman is coming out looking very, very clean. Clearly putting the work in on the game and, you know, having a lot of success as a result. Nice take.
Goes for the takedown.
That's probably needed. And like I said, this is where he does his best work there, Tabrick. So great job from him. I'm just going to take a quick moment to announce that the man that was going to join us a little bit earlier on in the commentary booth, but he had to pull Felder it and jump straight into the cage. BSD Jendo joining us in the commentary booth. How are you doing there, brother?
What's going on, my
Jendo.
friend? It was a pleasure to get in there earlier, and I'm even happier to be in the booth. Now you guys get to see what I actually do, and it's a pleasure to be on here so quickly, man.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you there, brother. Appreciate you jumping in. These guys, obviously, you're coming in at a point now where the submission's trying to be cinched in by Zombies, but he's just not going to be able to get this one. You know, too low on stamina in terms of it. The defense so far for Valentine is very, very on point. He's trying all he can, but he's going to lose the position as a result. Probably should have bailed, right, guys, and tried to rain down some of that ground and pound from the advantageous position of that top mount.
So you really love to see, like, right now, we get to see two of these fights have already been mirror matches, and some people actually don't like these, but I think it definitely shows us a definitive better fighter, and whoever comes out on top in this one is the better one between these two, gets to move on in primetime, man.
Exactly, brother, exactly. I mean, ultimately, you're at a point where there are no advantages in this one, right? It's a little bit difficult when they're both using black shorts, you know, very, very difficult to sometimes tell which one's which, you know, when you've got so much action going on in front of you. But like you said there, brother, it's really is a test of who is the better fighter, you know, maybe overall, but definitely with their favored pick in this middleweight division. Robert Whittaker, like I said, is so well-rounded. He can really do it all as well. He can strike, he can clinch, he can grapple on the ground. And put it all together. Nice work. Oh, big kick. The stream seems to have stopped just for a moment. Hopefully that comes back momentarily. We see a big head kick attempt from Zombies. Looks like it was blocked, and Valentine now trying to land the shots on the inside. Big knockdown.
Pushing him back.
I'd like to see him start to attack the body now. You see that head health so low. If you get Zoms now guarding the body and defending low as well, he could be in a lot of trouble because his head health is really nearing that flash KO threshold.
And that's, you know, a key thing to making sure that you have, you know, an all-rounded game, right, brother? Trying to mix it up to the body, making sure that your opponent doesn't know what's coming next. It allows you to set up those big power shots, as you alluded to. Nice head kick there from Valentine once again. Going to the body first, slipping it up there, and Zombie's hands doesn't, you know, he doesn't seem to know where to hold them right now. Big rock once again.
has got to be where it ends, man. Beautiful drop. The ground and pound is going to be it. Could this be it? Zombs does actually survive. Can you believe that one?
Just the cardio not holding up quite for Valentine in that one, but having a lot of success. This fight so far has basically been almost one-way traffic, other than the occasional, big shot being landed by zombies. He needs to get something going, but the problem is, the head health, when it's that low, you can't get into those brawling exchanges. You need one of those big counters, maybe a pull, in order to, start to change the momentum of this fight.
Valentine's still got basically full stamina. At this point, Zombs, there's not much he can do. He can try and hunt for a finish, but Valentine's got the stamina advantage, he's got the health advantage, and he's really putting on a masterclass.
That he is, brother, that he is. And now he finds himself in top control with 2 minutes to go in this third and final round there. Oh, wow, gets his back taken, though. This is really, really problematic, and we know how dangerous zombies can be in these positions. I think I got them the wrong way around for the moment.
Right there.
I got them wrong. I got them the wrong way around. No, Valentine's on bottom. Do apologize. Just to correct that, we got zombies in the blue corner, Valentine in the red. Now find himself on bottom after that ground and pound.
So I really want to know what Zombs has in mind here initiating these grappling exchanges, because he knows he's losing the fight, right? He knows he's down on the scorecard. So why is he the one that's kind of settling to stay on the ground a little bit more often? I'm not sure why. Valentine's really looking impressive here. Maybe it's a bit of a moral victory to see the final bell, but Valentine's earned this one from beginning to end, and we've only got about 20 seconds left.
Yeah, exactly right, brother. I mean, unfortunately, when you've got such little time left on the clock, your head health is your stamina is so low, you're just not going to be able to get the ground and pound off that you need in order. Oh!
It's the finish with 5 seconds left in the final round. What
Jesus Christ!
Round of applause for Valentine in the chat, please. That man landed some beautiful combinations. Really, really had an excellent all-round performance tonight. Just an absolutely excellent performance, man. Very, very impressed by that. Probably the best one he's had so far, and a phenomenal finish to close us out.
Really want to see how Valentine moves on from this one, what he gets next. This was a beautiful performance against a well-respected member of the community from a well-known camp. Valentine looked phenomenal. I can't say enough about him.
Yeah, great work, man.
He definitely did.
Well, with that one in the bag, we now move into our fourth fight of the prelim side of things. These guys living up to all the hype so far. Knew it was going to be a stacked event. Knew that they were all going to come through and deliver. On the next one, of course, we're now going to be stepping up between the two gentlemen, Jequis, or LW, Jequis I should say, and he's going to be fighting Spartan War, that has taken this fight on short notice to replace Iklout. Hopefully we get to see that match in the future, but I know how dangerous LW Jequis is. I'm interested to see how a relatively newcomer to the scene in somebody like Spartan War is going to be able to do. I believe he's been on a number of other promotions. I know you guys are, kind of in a number of the different leagues. Are you familiar with him at all? Do you know very much about him, Spartan War?
Which one?
I've never heard of him, to be honest.
Spartan War.
Spartan Wars.
Yeah, Spartan Wars.
I think this is a complete unknown. I haven't heard of him, but I've seen Jequis, and Jequis is not bad. So this is going to be, if Spartan War can pull this one out, he's definitely one to look out for.
Yeah, for sure, brother, for sure. We're just waiting for these guys to come through now. Not going to be too much longer as they set up. Okay, without further ado, we are getting straight into it. Moving through this card very, very quickly, man. We've only got 2 more fights left of the prelims, and then, of course, we move on to the main card as we see KM Pirate Kip. He's going to be fighting a little bit later on up against Simply Beney. These guys have been talking a lot of trash to each other, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know if you guys have seen the check-in room, but I'm definitely interested in it.
Considering I'm in a camp with Beney has been running his mouth quite a bit. This is one I'm looking forward to, and I think that's going to be a hell of a fight. A lot of people don't like Beney, but it's really hard to deny how talented he is at the game, man.
Yeah, he's good, man. He can mix it all together as well. You know, if he's not able to get the striking, he's going to go to that groundwork. A lot of people get frustrated with it when you get, kind of like that Khabib-esque sort of thing. If he doesn't get the first one, he's going to go for 2 or 3. He's not opposed to throwing in the knees to interrupt that forward pressure, and a lot of people can struggle with that, right, Taverick? Okay, I think Tabrik maybe just having a couple of issues with his mic. He's just checking that for a quick second. But without further ado there, my man.
Can we take a second and look at what we've got a little bit later on? It's not the main event. It's not the co-main event, and it's not in the opening slot. But God Ate My Pig and Fad is going to be a hell of a fight tonight. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're both killers, man. It's a bit of a shame when you've got to match up campmates against each other, right? I don't like doing it whenever we can get away with not doing it, but it was a short notice matchup. Their opponents fell through at last minute, so they had to, you know, step up and fight each other, really put on a lot of action. And we mentioned it a little bit earlier on there, Jendo. You know, when you're very familiar with your opponent, it really does change the entire you know, approach to the fight, because you can't really go to the well with your normal techniques, as your opponent is obviously very aware of what they are and how to get, you know, how to get those counters off nice and cleanly.
We got Jequis and Spartan War ready to go.
Yeah, these guys are. I'm just waiting for them to load up. I think one of them's just shedding a couple of pounds as we speak right now. Looks like he's about to make weight, but yeah, it's do apologize. I think
so in that case, I'll double back. So in the God Ate My Pig versus Fad fight, right? These guys aren't just camp mates. Like a lot of times you'll see smaller camp guys get matched up against each other. These guys are actually some of the closer guys in the community. Those guys rarely ever play this game without one another. These guys are elite players at the game, and seeing them against each other, knowing each other so well, I think that one's going to be a fight of the night tonight.
For sure, man, for sure. Right, looking at it, it looks like we've got a Conor McGregor up against Dustin Poirier. Knowing these matchups myself, I don't know what you guys think. Even though Dustin Poirier has definitely got the better statistics on the game, especially as of right now, I do feel like Conor McGregor has a bit of an advantage in this matchup due to the footwork and the speed.
A little bit, he does, but I think Dustin, the Dustin user, should be looking to exchange a little bit of grappling, go out kind of like Conor Dustin 2 began, shoot early, and have Conor sitting there camping low. You know, if you're looking to defend the takedown and you get pieced up top a little bit, it can change the fight early on. I know it happened to me earlier. Interesting.
Okay. Bit of breaking news for you all. AJS Warbzy is now EK Warbzy. Congratulations to Warbzy. That's sure he's going to be doing some great thing with those boys. AJS were a great camp as well. Now moving on with the EK boys, obviously got a bit of a different style, so we'll have to see how they kind of shake up a little bit further, what adjustments he makes to his game. But with that being said, LW Jequis up against the short notice replacement of Spartan War, trying to make an impact on the scene, getting a you know, short notice victory. And those are some of the most impressive ones, right? You've had no time to prepare for your opponent, don't know what, you know, who you're fighting, when it's coming. Step up on a moment's notice, and getting that W can be massive for your you know, movement forward within the rankings.
And there's some of the bouts with the least to lose. Realistically, anything he does here is okay, and he's looking good early on. He looks like someone to watch. He's got a little bit of a stamina advantage. He's pressuring well. He's mixing it up high, low, legs, body, head. He's doing very well early on. And as I say that, Jequis gets the early knockdown. Wow, this changed. The fight can change at the drop of a dime.
It really can, especially when you've got power in your hands like both of these competitors. Like you said, early advantage for Spartan War, trying now to get his opponent off him a little bit. Able to... Was that a bail on the takedown? I don't think you could bail on a double leg anymore.
Oh, looks like he could, because he did it. He got him up against the fence, looking to work the knees, but he gets the back instead and gets down to back sitting.
Now, obviously, we're going to have Dustin Poirier having the advantage in these ground positions. Jiu-Jitsu definitely having an advantage over Conor McGregor's. Nice stop right there. RNC is available. Decides not to go for it.
Dominant position. Such a dominant position, right? If you can just sit here as the Dustin user, he likely wins the round. He likely does win the round if he can just camp position. And you said it earlier, position over submission, the denial there, and that is a very tough denial to get. Works to get the back flat, doesn't get it, but Jequis is looking good after a rough start for him. He may be rebounding in a way that can win him this round.
Yeah, and this is almost kind of exactly what you would expect to see when you see a Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, right? Conor's going to come out and look really clean early due to the speed, the power that he has, that footwork, and, you know, all-round precision. But then obviously we have Dustin Poirier, which is a veteran that's been fighting for a very long time, has a well-diverse, you know, set of skills, and we're seeing him utilize that now with 1:30 on the clock. There's plenty of time for this man to work, and right now he's riding out these positions very nicely.
This is such a smart approach because a lot of people say hunting for back sitting is almost useless in leagues because so many people don't use the rear nakeds out of the back sitting, and it's banned in so many leagues, right? But it is such a nice position if you can master it and just learn the denials. It's very hard to get out of it. If you've been on ranked, you fought guys who know the denials from back sitting, and it's near impossible to get out of that. I think Jequis is putting on a masterclass grappling, and I said it early on, this will open up the hands to the head earlier. Look at the stamina of Spartan War right now in these denials.
Yeah, Conor McGregor, you know, he's so powerful. Getting that lactic acid build-up in those animated arms of his is going to play massive dividends as we go through the full 15 minutes, should we need it. I don't know why he's going for a submission right there. Only 18 seconds left on the clock. Don't know if there's enough time for it, my man, but trying to get any points he can on those judges' scorecards for sure.
Likely trying to test the submission defense, but what's most impressive to me about this round is Jequis came back to have a stamina advantage by the end of it. I think he really found his pathway to victory, and I think if he opens up round 2 with a little more grappling, he could work his way towards a finish on the feet late round number 3.
Yeah, for sure. Now this is going to be the make or break point for him, right, Tabrik? You've got Conor McGregor that you know, had a bit of an adversity after some success at the beginning, but he needs to get something going in order to get that respect back from Dustin Poirier. Otherwise, that cardio is going to become incredibly more problematic as you know, as it ticks across.
For a power takedown.
And a great exchange right there from Conor, but exactly, Tabrik, the power takedown. And we missed you, buddy. Where you been?
I was fixing up the microphone issue.
He's back, brother. Good to have you back with us. Like I said, that microphone issues, I know the troubles with them. They can be an absolute nightmare. Glad to have you back in here, my man. This fight has been non-stop action, start to finish. So far, Jequis is looking phenomenal. Obviously, he is the slight betting favorite going into this one. Spartan War taking it on short notice, but it looks like Spartan's doing all he can to stay technical. That was a lovely denial there from Poirier, though. The up transitions from that back sitting position is very, very difficult to get.
I think this opportunity is huge for
Almost had to
Spartan Lord
pre-deny
because
that.
I'm seeing his stand-up is phenomenal, right? It's looking really good. He's winning a lot of stand-up exchanges, but if anything is going to teach a guy to finally break that stubborn habit and learn the ground game, it's this. He's looking so good on the feet. If he could have just kept it there, this is likely a very different fight, and he's looking at a different name value after this fight, right? You could get a win over someone in a big camp, and he looked really good early and looks good when it's standing. He just can't keep it there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's, you know, like I say, it's tale of two halves. Conor McGregor is definitely a front-runner fighter, right? He's more of a hammer than he is a nail, and sometimes you need to be both, and that was the adaptability of the LW campmate. Obviously, in Jequis, he's been able to be, you know, almost like water. You kind of look at the old Bruce Lee saying, you know, be like water, my friend. He's really kind of going wherever he needs to in order to get, you know, ahead in this fight, and so far has done a phenomenal job of just really, really taking Conor McGregor out of his element.
And we see him stand up now, right? This opens up the hands.
Oh, that's where Conor McGregor's at his most dangerous there, Tabrik, landing those clean hands. Nice to see him back on his feet. We'll have to see what work he's able to get going.
He's fun on the feet, man. He can do a lot of things standing up, but there he's stunned with the knee and kick to the body. A lot of variety there, but now here comes Jequis with the pressure. The Conor user survives, but Dustin shoots once again, and it's finally denied. Could we see a turn of the tide here going into round number 3?
That takedown defense is massive for him. You know, wasn't able to get it a little bit earlier. He knows he's going to have a tough time if he does get taken down, so definitely a little bit more cognizant of it at this stage of the fight, but once again, I mean, it's not like Dustin Poirier does not have power on the feet either. One shot, he can sit you down, and we see it just there. Beautiful land for Dustin.
25 seconds to go in this round, and it's unsure if it'll even see the end of it. Beautiful pressure from both of these guys, and with the bamboo about to sound, I really want to see if we can get a round number 3. How excited would you be, man? What about?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I'm amazed if we're going to go there. I don't think... Oh, I was going to say I don't think we are, but that was on the buzzer.
Saved
the last
by
second.
the bell. What a knockdown, man. What about, and what a day to debut on commentary. I appreciate you guys letting me in the booth, and I really, really look forward to seeing where this goes, man.
Yeah, pleasure to have you here, brother. Pleasure to have you here. We got the killer stop at the bottom. This is only the beginning. These guys throwing down, setting up, you know, the pace for the night as each and every one has. Big land for Jequis again. Oh, Jesus. This might be it. Going to continue the pressure. Inside clinch work, go into the hands, nice and intelligent. Most people blocking that body almost instantly. Now utilizing the takedown after a couple of shots to the head. Obviously mixing it up very, very nicely. And with 4 minutes 20 on the clock, we are in the second round currently. going to be very, very tough for his opponent to get back to the feet with that stamina deficit.
What a morale victory it would be, though, right, for Spartan War if he even survives to the final bell. And a beautiful sweep there, but a Kimura attempt here. And could Jequis, and we've been corrected, by the way. We've been saying Jequis, it's Jequis, and I apologize for that pronunciation. But could we see Jequis get a Kimura finish from the half guard bottom side?
Oh, he goes for the chain. This is actually very, very dangerous. This is going to be much, much deeper now if he's able to continue to trace him as well as he is. Looks like the advantage is all him.
This is inevitable. He's got it. This is going to be over. Dustin Poirier. What a performance by Jequis. He gets the tap in round number 3, and he really makes a statement. Dominates him from bell to bell. Got stunned a few times, but at the end, he started winning in the stand-up. He was winning on the ground. What a performance.
I'm sure the LW boys going to be very, very proud of their campmate in that one. Yeah, he did phenomenal, like you say, brother. Non-stop action, a little bit of adversity early, and that's one of the kind of things I look for in a fight. Is that it's not all good if you just have a clean run through, right? But that may just be that you're outskilling your opponent, and maybe your opponent just isn't quite on that level, and you need tougher competition. But when you're up against a tough opponent like that came out and looked good early, he looked fantastic. I mean, just to overcome that early adversity that he had and find his success on the ground. Able to set up those strikes a little bit later on, and really, really, great work putting it all together. Now, with that one, lads, we move on to our 5th fight of the prelims. We're going to be having a legend of the promotion, Honest Jim, making a reappearance, stepping up to fight a dangerous opponent. Dangerous opponent in SatchmoeLife. SatchmoeLife has obviously been around in the scene as well for a little while, not quite as long as Honest Jim, but is also making waves. He's been putting on phenomenal performances, showing that he's got great hands, great wrestling, and we know that this guy's going to be coming to fight all round. Obviously, Honest Jim, if you're not so familiar with him there, guys, he's been with us since, well, maybe about 4 or 5 years, and one of the most experienced players that we have come across. In fact, he is the only person to have ever beat our current Xbox champion in EK Trixie. So, he is a very, very dangerous opponent, likes to grapple, likes to mix it all together, kind of got that Colby Covington sort of style, but he has that matched up against him, kind of or reciprocated, in SatchmoeLife. I feel like they're very, very similar fighters, and it's going to be interesting to see how they approach this one.
I've actually faced Honest Jim on ranked a few days ago, and he put it on me to the point that I have to move forward to put it back on him. So this is actually going to be a good matchup on both sides.
Definitely, brother, definitely. I haven't had the pleasure of fighting Satchmo yet, but I've seen him, seen his handiwork a number of times, and he's looked really, really good. It looks like TMF Honest Jim has the slight advantage going into this fight, the 2-0, but we've said it time and time again. It's one thing doing that in OWC or sparring, a little bit of a different thing when you're under the bright lights of Primetime MMA. You see him going with a TJ Dillashaw pick, the Snake, as we are about to see him a little bit later on, step up against Corey Sandhagen. Honest Jim going with the well-rounded pick of Henry Cejudo, going to try and make quick work, I would imagine, like he always is. This guy continuously looking for the finish at the very, very beginning to the very, very end.
I had to fix a microphone malfunction. I wanted to let you guys know I'm not going to be able to be here for the entire bout. I've got 1 or 2 more left in me. I may be able to return later on. But I really appreciate you guys letting me in here once again, man.
No problem at all there, brother. No problem at all. Pleasure to have you in here for when you can. But action starting straight ahead of us. Touch of gloves. Nice show of respect from 2 very, very dangerous opponents. Starting out quickly with the hands is SatchmoeLife. Definitely trying to take the lead in this dance. But gets sat down Henry Cejudo with the power.
That's a morale boost for sure. With Cejudo to drop TJ in the first 20 seconds with that hook. Beautiful early on, and now he can really just play his game and do whatever he wants for this first round. He's clearly in front, not even a minute in.
Yeah, and that's the thing, bro. Especially this early, you've got early damage. You don't need to hunt that finish. Your opponent's still relatively fresh and will be able to recover. So, like you say, taking an educated approach, maybe not taking your foot off the gas, but being a little bit more defensive centric, because otherwise Satchmo's going to continue to be able to find the home in some brawls, and we know how dangerous TJ is when somebody tries to go full Garbrandt against him. Nice takedown.
Especially someone like Cejudo. He has good punch stats, but realistically speaking, you don't want to sit there and box TJ with the Cejudo. You want to get it to the ground. TJ doesn't have the best bottom game. It is good, but realistically, I think Honest Jim should be looking for a takedown, and he did earlier, but a great denial by Satchmo led to this exchange on the feet.
Honest Jim now trying to strike from the outside. Obviously, we see TJ Dillashaw trying to utilize some of those unorthodox kicks. Lead question mark kick, which is always a nice one to see. Catches a lot of people flush. We see combinations firing on the inside, and now Honest Jim goes for the first takedown attempt of the fight and was able to secure it. This is where he's at his most dangerous. We see him getting that very late denial, riding across and now into the back sitting position. This man is dangerous with the submissions also, so I wouldn't imagine that he's going to be afraid to go for those.
And what I liked seeing from Jim here was that he used the knee grab for the takedown going downwards, and a lot of times when that works one time, you found almost a cheat code. It's almost a mental block for a lot of players to not block the takedown with the stick going downwards, and that could easily open up an avenue to getting this bout to the ground for Honest Jim.
For sure, man, for sure. A lot of people, it's the same thing, some people automatically flick, and everybody's got their own little tells, and like you say, that down one could be a big one for Henry Cejudo over here, Honest Jim, but I have to say his cardio's maybe getting a little bit worse for wear at this stage, and we can't see Satchmo's to see how he's being reflected, but eating a lot of damage, so you've got to imagine they're probably at about the same pace at this point, right?
Definitely.
What I'm looking at, right, is the stamina.
Same stamina.
Realistically speaking, do you think Satchmo's stamina would be a little bit lower? Considering he got dropped. That's usually a very big stamina tank tax out of the tank.
It really is. It really is. When you eat damage, it plays a big factor on your cardio, but it also plays a massive factor on your ability to recover in between rounds. So a lot of damage coming out the way of Honest Jim, but it's not like TJ Dillashaw isn't landing some combinations. It just seems that he's done a better job of blocking it, as Honest Jim, making sure that those cleaner shots don't get through. But you do see that, a little bit more of a significant strike advantage there, Tabret, in the side of Satchmo, so he's still landing a lot of bombs himself.
Definitely. If you heard me say hello earlier on, it's just I was checking if the microphone was working.
You're all good, brother. You're all
out
good.
there.
Starting out quickly in the second round, 4:40 on the clock, already throwing bombs in the pocket. Nice double kick attempt, but once again, the takedown. I do want to address
that Satchmo did drop the taunt, the basically come at me taunt at the end of round number 1, and he finds himself on his back on beneath side control 40 seconds into round number 2. Honest Jim must have taken that a little bit personally.
Yeah, he doesn't take too kindly to taunts, does Honest Jim, and he's one of those guys it's kind of like emotional abuse on the ground. Doc says it about Styles all the time, but it also applies to somebody like Honest Jim. He's so committed to it. Like I said, he likes to melt his opponents down, very, very much like a Colby Covington sort of approach. Non-stop action in terms of the striking, then mixing in the grappling, and obviously very, very dangerous once he hits the mat. That's where his bread is buttered.
What I like to see here is a more patient approach on the ground from Dillashaw. I think he's really kind of spamming these transitions, and it works there. He gets up against the fence, but for someone like Honest Jim, it's not going to be too hard to win these grappling exchanges when you're just constantly reaching for a transition. You're taxing your tank, and you're losing GA. There's not that many advantages to what he's trying out here.
Yeah, you're right. Now, one thing, if you haven't checked out, I would suggest to. I watched a video recently of Romero's video for the undeniable feints, and I know that Honest Jim knows those a lot, and they can play a massive factor if your opponent isn't as savvy to them. I imagine Satchmo is, though. He likes to do a lot of work on the ground himself. We see the submission attempt, but it doesn't look like he's going to get anything from it. The defense just a little bit too on point from Honest Jim at this stage in the fight.
And can we take a second to address
this one? I would expect him to at least bail on it.
So Satchmo earlier in the primetime server, right, an hour and 20 minutes ago, dropped the picture and said he's coming off a round 1 loss due to a broken toe, and he promises to get this one back for the fans. I can see why he's a little desperate to get off his back, because his fans wouldn't be too happy about this. Yeah, no, I heard he injured his toe prior to the fight, was throwing kicks without any shin guards on, and landed some of those shots on the foot area. Unfortunately, a little bit damaged. Just over 60 seconds to go in the round, and I think Honest Jim is really implementing his game plan well. He's clearly up 1-0 Earlier on, it was the striking advantage was to Dillashaw by a few strikes, but the knockdown clearly wins that round for Honest Jim. This round, he's been on top. He's done the work standing up. I think Honest Jim is looking forward to the third round, and I think that's where he can hunt the finish, because looking at his stamina bar, he's going to be able to be throwing early and throwing often in that third round.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And one thing to note about somebody like Honest Jim is that being the veteran he is and a previous champion of the promotion back in UFC 3 as well, this guy, he's a 5-round fighter. He does better as the fight goes on, so he's always looking to get that finish early, but even though his cardio starts to drain, going towards the later rounds, he knows how to play that game. He knows how to adjust it. If he's spending cardio and he's getting tired, he knows that as long as he's landing, you're getting more tired, because those shots are landing, and obviously your cardio is having a little bit of an issue at the same rate as well, right?
Definitely.
And this light of a weight, though, it's really surprising to see. In that first round, Jim's stamina tank was really looking a little bit low for a flyweight fight. The second round, at the end of the second round, he looked like he had more stamina than at the end of the first. Yeah,
very true. Very, very true. Like I said, the fact is that when you're losing cardio due to the fact that you're just having a very, very high output, but you're landing, then it's not the same as whiffing your shots, because whiffing your shots not only taxes more stamina, but it's not affecting your opponent in any way. Landing these shots it continues to interrupt that stamina regen, and obviously is making it a lot more difficult for him to be able to recover over the course of this 15-minute fight. But once again, the power shots landing from Honest Jim. Beautiful work.
I think what we'd benefit from looking at is, yes, TJ had the striking advantage earlier on in case of numbers, right? But if you look at the percentage that was landing, I believe Jim was landing 50% of his shots. And if 1 out of 2 is landing, you're in trouble.
Yes. The percentage is incredibly high. That's why if you go and see something in boxing, for example, that plays a factor in the judge's scorecard, right? Is how your percentage is, how accurate and diligent you're being, how efficient you're being with your strikes, and making sure that you're landing those with crisp precision. We're seeing Satchmo trying to get active right now, trying to get unorthodox with those flying knees and front kicks.
Beautiful crane kick, wow.
Yeah, and this is maybe what he needs right now. He's probably 2 rounds down, right? And maybe even behind in this round.
Did you see the stamina bar flashing? That is very telling. Satchmo's bar has to be much lower than Jim's. After one combo there, the stamina bar flashed red.
Nice work. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's like you said, we can't actually see it, but we know he's definitely going to be running on a low gas tank at this stage in the fight. Honest Jim, not looking completely fresh, but definitely looking the cleaner of the two right now. Just landing some nice clean shots on the inside. Big head kick from Dillashaw, though.
These guys are setting the bar for what could be the fight of the night. What a third round, and what about entirely?
Yeah, back and forth. High technique on display from both guys. Mixing it up. Look at the unorthodox striking of Satchmo, really, really trying to dig deep and, use his full repertoire of techniques in order to try and find a home for the finishing blow.
I would like to see Satchmo be worried about his stamina, though.
At this point for Satchmo, he's got to know he's down 2 rounds to none, and it's just hunt for the finish. Beautiful takedown there. He got the denial initially, but then, hey, here we go. Here's a guillotine attempt. Could Satchmo pull an upset in the final 60 seconds?
Now, he is very, very dangerous. It looks once again like the defense was on point. He decides to bail on it, which maybe is actually a good idea, because it allows him a little bit of time now to try and get something else going as he gets the reversal, see if he's able to hold this. Not for long. Once again, Honest Jim staying very, very active on the ground. And that can be a bit of a problem when your stamina's very low, right? I mean, we don't actually see it, but we know Dillashaw's stamina's low.
We've got 25 seconds, and here comes Satchmo. We've got 20 seconds of war coming, and look at this. The bamboo sounds. Could we see a finish here in tight? You see Satchmo's throwing a lot, not throwing enough. We see the final bell, and you've got to think that Honest Jim's got this one in the bag.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's that was a very, very good performance from him. He had a little bit of adversity, but definitely just had the better work all round, at least in my opinion, or my judging. But looking at the judges' scorecards, looks like they're showing, not the judges' scorecards, sorry, the replays, the highlights. They're showing a lot of highlights from TJ Dillashaw.
They sure are, and this
was a lot of damage.
This could be a very interesting judging decision. But Tab, what were you going to say about the?
There was a lot of damage on Henry Cejudo from both legs and the body and the head. So I'm guessing this could be TJ Dillashaw's.
It's TJ. Holy shit! I was not expecting that.
If I'm honest, Jim, I'd be heading for a fight appeal. I'd be adding every staff member I could find. This one was a highway robbery, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, even SatchmoeLife, and respect to the man for saying this, he's just come in the chat, in the Twitch chat, saying that that was a horrible decision. He said, you know, I mean, he thought he could have won, round one, but yeah, you know, definitely.
To his defense, he could have. He did have the 54-40 striking advantage, a large, significant strike advantage, but he did get knocked down. That first round, I can't act like it was a robbery, but that third round, man, Honest Jim really was starting to get pressured. Satchmo started looking really good, and he shot for a takedown. I think that Satchmo had just enough time in the third round to work his game on the feet. The judges gave it to him, and we can complain all we want, but he's moving on with a W, and that's all that'll be remembered a week from now.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I'll ultimately... oh, sorry, I had a couple... Let's go back to that for just a second as we set those up. Those guys were setting the stats. I do apologize that we didn't get to see the full stats. That one's on me. It was a very, very super close fight, you know, to be fair, in that first and third round. It was back and forth. Like I said, from my perspective, calling the fights at least, it did appear that Honest Jim was getting the better of the two, but, you know, it's hard to judge from our sides, right? The way it's going, it's very, very difficult, especially in a very, very back and forth close match. You know, it was a kind of tale of two halves, right? The early part of round one was obviously on the side of Satchmo. Then the first part of round three was really going into Satchmo as well. And it was kind of that middle body work of Honest Jim that really, really kind of made that fight incredibly competitive.
If I could, I would like to take us into our next one, though, because there is quite a little bit of history here between Tadpole and who is being known as BSD Juice, Brannon. So basically, Brannon came into the BSD camp. He got an invite from one of our guys, right? And ever since, all I've been hearing from both him and Tadpole is how much these guys genuinely don't like each other. And seeing these guys play each other at a game that is something that is MMA. I mean, they're basically fighting each other right now. This is gonna be a fun one to watch. I think both of these guys are gonna look for pressure early on, and I can't wait, man. This is gonna be a war.
I could not agree with you more, brother. I was interested to see Brannon trying to call out Tadpole. He's not normally a guy that's on the tip of everybody's tongue. He has incredible pressure, really, really mixes it, you know, together incredibly well. But Brannon may be seeing something, and he feels that maybe he can take advantage of it. So all the bad blood going into this one, going to be interesting to see how they stack up, Tabrick, especially in this bantamweight division.
I will say, if
thank you, mate.
If Brandon's able to win this one, I'll give him his BSD badge. I can guarantee you, if he wins this one, he'll be showing up next time with BSD Juice in his name and in his gamer tag. And while I'm at it, I might take it out of my name because my performance was laughable.
It happens, brother. We've all been there. We've all been there, bro.
It happened to me as well, so don't worry about it.
This is exciting. It's not the first time, it's not the last, but the bout is underway, and this one's giving me goosebumps. We've got Brannon, we've got Tadpole. This is going to be fun. TJ and Jan, this is a very fun matchup, and I just can't wait to see what happens.
Here it is, starting out nice and quickly.
Beautiful lead hook to start the combinations from Jan. I love people who start the lead hook and go into a straight. A lot of people get into a flow of their movement, and that straight coming second as opposed to throwing a straight first and then one of those hooks coming. It's really a game changer for some, and I know Tadpole often struggles eating some of these combos that start with a hook or an uppercut and finish with a straight.
Nice work. Once again, we see Tadpole taking the center of the cage right now, pressuring forward. Brannon trying to look for some of those big pull counters on the back foot. It's a lot harder to move backwards than it is forwards, though, so you're going to have to be a little bit careful of it, especially as Tadpole continues to dig to the body. But there's an uppercut from Brannon.
It's rock. Beautiful pressure here from Brannon, and Brannon is angry. He's not looking to get washed out here. He's looking to make a statement, and he's looking to move on in these primetime rankings. Tadpole's hurt early on, but a beautiful pull lead upper, and Tadpole's not backing down. It doesn't look like that uppercut shook him at all. It looks like his game plan remains the same.
Yeah, Tadpole's been around the scene for a very, very long time, fighting here, fighting in aggro, fighting in ESFL. The man is definitely an experienced player and is not going to, get out of his flow just because of a little bit of a setback early on in the fight. We see him now landing nice damage, but also we're having Brannon return it with pretty nice precision. He's really going for those pulls and ducks pretty nicely.
Well, yeah, there's not many people in the game who do this better than Tadpole, right? He's throwing so many punches, but if you look at his stamina bar, it looks like he's thrown nothing. There's some of us that throw 2 or 3 combos early on, and it stacks more than that. Tadpole does a phenomenal job of using technical pressure to really put his opponents in trouble, and Brannon is in a little bit of trouble here as he does land the pull uppercut, though, and Tadpole's got it right back. This is a battle of wits here.
Brannon doing a good job so far there, Tabrik. I mean, it's interesting going for that call out. Like I said, he's clearly seeing something, and he's definitely having success so far.
I would love to see Brannon use more of the teeps, though. To be fair,
Tadpole is rocked. Here comes Brannon. The uppercut drops
definitely
him.
His weaknesses.
The pressure becoming apparent. Brannon trying to get nice shots, lands
Beautiful
a knee to the face.
Brannon has Tadpole in trouble, and Ben is on his back feet. You don't see Tadpole moving backwards often. You see it right now.
Yeah, and he's got to get on his bike right now. He's maybe even got to go for a takedown, in my opinion, just to try and stop this, you know, momentum going in the favor of Brannon. But I say that with the pull counter.
With a beautiful pull, and now he's hunting the uppercuts to try and get the drop. But look at his stamina and look at Tadpole's head health himself. I think both of these guys could really benefit from letting this one see the second round.
Yeah, no, definitely, brother, definitely. They Bad Blood is definitely in this one, landing death combinations any moment they can. You see 5s and 6s coming out, and that's interesting for the first round, right? Normally it's 1s and 2s and leg kicks and this, that, and the other, but my God.
And if you take a look at the chat, right, for a prelim right now, we've got Beney in there, BSD Big E calling for big things from Juice. Then we've got Jequis calling out the Bad Blood for a prelim bout here. We've got everything we could ask for.
For sure, my man. These guys definitely could have been on a main card and another card, but this one's stacked top to bottom, so they're going to have to throw it out on this one, and they're bringing all the action to the prelims, setting us up beautifully for the rest of the card. This Bad Blood is going to be finished one way or another tonight. Looks like Tadpole's trying to get back into the driving seat.
When you look at these health bars, both of them are getting really close to where one of these pull counters could spell trouble, and both of these guys are throwing him, but Tadpole has him rocked, and he doesn't approach him on the fence. It's interesting to see he was chasing the knockdowns in the middle of the octagon, but when he can close down... Oh, beautiful!
Wheel kick!
What a combination. The
Human highlight reel! This man is a killer. We've seen so many unorthodox coming. I know he's trying to get some more videos for that the ESFL Community Challenge right now, trying to put some together, some beautiful destruction, landing unorthodox strikes and keeping Brannon guessing.
Look at that beautifully synchronized double pull. They are in each other's head. What about this one is looking incredible, man. And as you said, if this wasn't so stacked, this could be on a main card of any card anywhere.
Nice work. And this one now,
I agree with you.
Do you not feel that now the tides are starting to turn back in the favor? Oh, never mind.
There goes Brannon. Right on cue. Brannon says nope, turns the tide, and he gets the rock. What about? We've got 2.5 to go in this round. We could definitely be seeing a finish here in the next 2.5 minutes.
For sure, man. I mean, said eat your words, and I had to. Right now, head health of Tadpole looking a little bit worse for where he's trying to land on the inside. Has to be a little bit careful of the exchanges, just like that.
Again, Tadpole is hurt. There's the lead up. Could this be a fight
over?
Brannon is looking to final. Oh, and he survives with one shot, full stamina. Tadpole and Brannon are really going out there and trying to earn fight of the night.
This is absolutely crazy. Somebody's getting a bean pie after this one.
Beautiful slip hook, now attacking the body. Ben does a great job of blocking and avoiding getting dropped there. Really, these guys are showing some of the best striking you can see.
Truly, brother, truly. Staying composed in such a chaotic battle. Oh!
And there's the rock off the front kick. Tadpole refuses to be made anybody's clown. And he gets the knockdown with the right head kick and gets the finish with the ground and pound. Tadpole says, enough. This one is all over. And Brannon has nothing to be ashamed of. But Tadpole hits him with the thanks in the chat and is victorious. Cyrus, what did you see out of that one, man? Take us through that finish.
I mean, going into it, we just... It was the head health is so low. We carried on seeing that sniping approach from his opponent in that fight. Brannon was trying to attack him on the entry, knowing that Tadpole was maybe trying to go with that lead hook or the jab to enter the pocket. Brannon did a really, really good job of making this a dirty fight because the pressure was on from the very, very get-go, right? And that could be really, really tough to deal with. We've seen a lot of people crumble under the pressure of the mighty Kingsman in Tadpole. This time, it looks like Brannon had some of the answers for it. I know that Tad is going to want that one one back. Like I said, this one isn't over. I'm sure he's kind of got the Conor McGregor effect going on right now, saying that, if this has to happen in a car park, they're going to throw down again. But what a fun fight that was, man. An absolutely bananas matchup.
And that was just the final prelim, right? That had some hype to it that felt like a main event in itself, but that's just leading into the main card. And boy, do we've got a stacked card. We've got main eventers everywhere, from the opener to the main event itself. And the main event itself is a hell of a bout between TD Styles and EK Dirty Dave. I can't wait for it. Co-main, we have Kai, we have Deema. That's going to be a blast. This is a hell of a card. And shout out to you guys at Primetime for putting it together.
Appreciate you, brother. It's a pleasure, as always, to put such high-level competitors up against each other. Obviously, honored to call it in the comms booth, as always, being joined by you two guys. Obviously, non-stop action so far. I can't wait to see how these guys shape up. Going to be having Simply Beney up against KM Kip, another Kingsman taking a step forward, looking to make a name for themselves.
And another BSD guy as well. This is the second straight BSD versus Kingman bout.
That's interesting. I always forget the Simply Benny's part of BSD. I do apologize, but you're absolutely right, brother. He's going with the Max Holloway pick here up against the favored Conor McGregor pick of Pirate Kip or KM Kip. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I know that Kip likes the counters a lot. He does like to pull when, his opponents are throwing their strikes potentially on like the first or the third strike. He does a really, really good job of setting them up. Simply Benny, though, with that Max Holloway pick
Beney is currently and has been sitting at #1 on the rank leaderboards for quite a while. His Scott is also in the top 5. This is going to be a fun one, man. And these guys do not like each other either. Not a lot of people like Beney. Us BSD boys will ride for him till the end. Not a lot of these guys like him, but he's bringing hell, and he's bringing it fast.
Sure, man, for sure.
Both guys looking like a technical beginning, want to take a feeling out process, see what the other guy's throwing at him a little bit, soft little strikes being thrown, and you like to see that in a bout like this. And a lot of times when guys don't like each other, they'll just get out there and they'll throw early, throw often, and we won't get what we really could see, or the best of both of the fighters, realistically.
Nice work.
You can just using the footwork pressure, maintain the middle of the octagon.
And Benny's doing a great job of using that jab as a feeler, right? Every time Kip steps forward, he's running into the jab, and it just triggers that response to just back up a step, and that allows Benny to throw another little shot in there, and winning rounds wins you fights.
Sure.
Beautiful front kick there, and Kip is really eating a lot of those front kicks to the body. Those teeps can back him up, and not only do they back him up, but they allow him to just sit there at his range, and Benny can really start to pick him apart a little bit. But here comes the beautiful head movement and pressure from Kip as well. Both of these guys having moments early on. Beautiful lead knee there. Max is looking a little bit in trouble. Benny is backing up for the first time in this bout on his back leg. Here comes Kip with the pressure, but now they both resume to the center of the octagon halfway through round #1. This one looks like it's heating up, and I can't wait to see where we go with it.
Yeah, we see, like I said, the Kip does like to fight on the outside, likes to use a lot of those slips. We're seeing him trying to utilize some of the slips and pulls, being very patient on the outside. Benny doing much of the same, utilizing some feints, which is an intelligent move against somebody that uses a lot of head movement. Trying to get them off that center line and, utilizing the ability to throw a hook behind it, or, any other kind of varieties of shots. As you see right there, it does huge damage because of the vulnerability is so high due to that head movement.
And as you said, Benny's doing a great job of throwing up that center pipe, right? And when you're throwing up the line, it then opens up. You understand he's looking for the slips, and a simple roundhouse or a hook could spell disaster for Kip. I think Benny has clearly taken the lead in this dance, but I think Kip, with a few small adjustments, could really be improving in this fight and go on round #2 and assert his dominance, because Benny is throwing a lot of these strikes up the middle, and as soon as Kip gets his flow, like right there, that slip hook later in the bout is likely a rock or a drop.
Nice work. Once again, Benny staying very, very committed to this. He feels very good. And this is, funnily enough, this is another fight with a lot of bad blood going into it. These guys been going crazy inside the check-ins leading up to this one. Liam was talking a lot of trash to Simply Benny, and Benny's looking to answer that with his hands. He wasn't too much into the trash talking himself. Said, I'm going to do the talking in the cage, trying to land some bombs with Holloway, but it's a very, very closely contested bout so far as we see the taunt to close out round one.
And it's crazy, right? Because me being the founder of BSD, I love the Kingsmen guys. Honestly, I think Kingsmen might be my favorite group outside of us. I think they literally might be my favorite camp outside of us. And apparently all of our guys hate each other, so that's pleasant.
It's always fun, right? When your friends hate each other.
Exactly. I'm talking to half the guys from both sides, and then they all hate each other. So we'll figure that out somehow.
Yeah, no, and this is one of those games where you're able to do so, right? You can throw down in the pocket. You can really, really get these things going and show who's the best. You know, there's no kind of thing. It's not like a football game, right, where you can rely on your team. This is a one-on-one mano-a-mano sport.
Hop on a live stream. You could hop on a live stream and complain about block breaking. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't. Beautiful pressure early on, but those teeps are finally being slipped, and Beney really is throwing a little too much up that center pipe. But the uppercut there rocks him, and can he get the drop? He can with the lead hook, and the taunt he is doing is talking in the cage, isn't he?
He really is, brother, and he's going for the taunts as well. Obviously feeling himself right now, but he has to be very wary of the damage, and the counter's going to be coming back his way. We see Kip trying to go for those pole counters, and only one is needed in order to change the course of the fight. Nice one there. You saw half the head health chunked away just with one uppercut.
And realistically, I mean, only the best have haters, right? So the fact that this many people have ill feelings towards Beney shows just how good he is. And he's putting on a hell of a performance, but Kip is no slouch, and he's here to bang. He is landing early. He was landing often, and he is still landing. Yes, he got dropped, but he's still looking very good. And if Beney lets his guard down, he could find himself in a world of hurt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one very nicely timed sidestep on some of these teeps, could really, really change the complexion of the entire fight. So far, I have to say, though, I am incredibly impressed by Beney's ability to stay composed. He knows that his opponent's going to be looking for those counters and seems to be doing everything he can to force those leans and pulls out of his opponent to land some shots as he goes to do so.
There it is. Those slips are starting to look good, and just one mistimed shot from Beney, right, leading to a slip hook could be the end of his night. I think Kip is starting to feel himself a little bit. He's pressuring, he's putting Beney on the back foot, and he's starting to really take the lead in this dance for the first time in this fight. I think as we go into this third round, both of these guys are going to have enough stamina to hunt a finish. Both guys' head health is low, but it's really going to be who's sharper later in this one.
Nice work. 1-2 from that man right there. See if spinning elbow.
Beautifully timed spinning elbow and the ground and pound. Could this be it? Kip gets finished. Simple Beney gets the victory. And say what you will, hate him if you must, but BSD Simple Beney is simply one of the best players at this game. He is simply one of the most elite of the elite players at this game, and he is victorious on yet another huge stage. BSD Simple Beney does his talking in the cage, gets it done. Cyrus, what did you see that allowed him to get that finish?
Honestly, it was the feints, in my opinion. The feints set up everything throughout the course of that fight. They continued to have Pirate Kip leaning and ducking at the wrong times. And as you see right there, that's exactly what he did. He expected a jab or something coming out. He uses a little bit of a head movement to slip off that center line. And Beyblade gets ripped, takes off his head. And he's okay though, lads. He's okay. He's not quite dead.
It's just beautiful coming from Simple Beney.
We've now got Beney. Okay, I say Beney. Beney did his talking in the cage, and now he's doing it in the chat. He's saying talk shit now. That he's feeling very good after that one, and understandably so. When you've got an opponent like Conor McGregor in your face, taunting you, trying to get under your skin to get that mental advantage over you, to come back and to get a victory like that, and to do it in such a clean fashion like he was able to this evening, that was a big win for Simply Beney. And as you said, definitely one of the best guys on the scene right now, doing great work.
Great work, and I'm seeing a little bit of a comment from Broomstick talking about bias. It's hard to be biased when the guys win in the fight. A hell of a performance, and credit where it's due. Kip brought the pressure. Kip was a hell of a fighter tonight, but Beney simply let the anger going towards this bout fuel him. Didn't let it get too much into him. Didn't gas the stamina early. Waited for his shot. Picked his shot and got it. You've got to give respect to where it's due. And Simple Beney is a victor. But moving on, we've got EK Issues and FSK AJ Guy. The EK camp is so filthy. FSK up and coming. This is going to be a fun bout.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. These guys, very, very dangerous all round. You love to see it, right? as we get through the cards, the levels of these opponents just continue to get higher and higher. We're going to be having one of the Kingsmen, one of the EK boys now. They're the Elite Kings. They're obviously all incredibly dangerous. Got some of the best players on the scene, continually trying to sign more talent as well, making them a very, very dangerous matchup for really anybody. Issues doing a great job so far, and obviously going to be looking to continue that as he goes through this fight. But he's up against a guy called AJ Guy, and I don't know if you guys are particularly familiar with him. Do you know AJ personally, guys, either of you? I know him very well, so just wondering.
I've heard of him, but I've never had the time to face him at all. I just know he's a very good overall well-rounded fighter.
Oh, he really is, brother. He really is. This guy, he has just an incredible pace that he's able to set on you. He's really able to mix it all together. I've known him for a very long time, since the early UFC 3 days. Kind of one of the OGs of the league. Took a little bit of a break away from it, now looking to make a run back. But he's got a tough opponent against him there, Tabrik, in EK Issues, who is currently picking Jorge Masvidal by the looks of things, brother. Yeah,
definitely. Janetto just commented. He said his lance up took a shit.
Oh, no worries. That's all right. I know the struggle of that one, my man. By all means, hopefully you'll be able to join us back in a moment. But in the, for right now, we're going to see EK Issues, AJ Guy lining up, going into the cage. 3 rounds in this main card fight. Beautiful picks if they're going to go with it. Like I said, I personally prefer the Leon Edwards pick, but you've got to respect Jorge Masvidal. The power, the boxing, that flying knee, they can all send you to hell, brother.
It definitely can. I've already felt that that hell, of the flying knee.
Yeah, for sure.
By a lot of people, and it's
these guys now, here we go. Herb Dean in the center. He's going to have to be on his toes in this one because they do apologize, a little bit slow on it.
Yeah.
Pull back counter. Great work.
Issues trying to put on the pressure on AJ Guy.
All he can. Nice combinations on the inside. Yeah, EK Issues definitely trying to take the center of the stage, trying to be more of the matador in this one, but it looks like Edwards, AJ Guy, really trying to mix up those combinations. He has to be a little bit careful of that bodywork and pull counters of Issues, though. The hands looking incredibly clean for this man and made quick work of it. Jesus! EK Issues not wasting any time this evening. My God.
That was a quick one.
I was not expecting that, bro. I think the stream may have died out for them, but we're just going to move on to the next fight because, my God, what a pace they set, right? That's massive, bro. I don't even...
Control fast.
Yeah, for sure. It caught me massively off guard. I ain't going to lie to you. Really has. Now, with that all being said, I mean, we're making absolutely record time going through this card by all means there. As you can see on your screen, up next, we are going to be having a current, or he was an AJS member, as you see on your screen, AJS Warbzy up against KM Adjust. He is no longer AJS from the reports that I'm getting. He has now been signed across to the EK Boys. So I wonder who he's going to have in his corner this evening, whether it be, the EK Boys, whether it be the BSD Boys, the EK Boys or the AJS Boys. But he's a very tough opponent. And he's got his work cut out from him against Adjust there, Tabrik. Do you know Adjust personally? He's a phenomenal counter-striker. Really top level.
I do.
Yeah.
I've played with him, and he's gave me problems. I have not beat him to this day. But just to put it out there, I'm coming for you, Adjust.
Just going to wait for these guys to cut a couple of pounds as we get set up for this next one. Getting the link for them right now. Looks like those pounds have been shed. They're about to shed even. They're stepping into the cage as we speak now. This fight, like I said, I imagine we're going to see a really well balanced matchup. I imagine that somebody like Warbzy, right, especially with the camp of EK behind him, probably going to look to utilize a little bit of grappling in this one, especially against such a dangerous striker like like Adjust. Adjust, obviously the previous Easy camp founder, I do believe, and since then when he's gone across to KM, he's just been making continual